In the MAC championship, Akron takes out Toledo and finishes an 11-2 season. While we were in the middle of the pack in the MAC conference with a 5-3 record, but it was good enough to get us a Citrus Bowl bid against Appalachian State. Alejandro Klink hits Rigoberto Ramirez and Christoph Hornsby for consecutive 20-plus yard connections, and Baza Beatson finishes the drive with a 2-yard touchdown run. A couple of straight sacks of App State quarterback DC Tabscott leads to a punt, and a clock-eating drive led to Baza getting another touchdown in the second quarter for a 2-score advantage. However, Tabscott answered with this sick 27-yard touchdown run to cut the lead in half and bring App State back into the ball game. On the ensuing NMU possession, Klink hits Lee Bowen for 17, and then Rigoberto Ramirez for a big 23-yard pass to set up Igor Ingolf subbing in to score. The second half didn't feature much scoring, as a short 2-yard Baza Beatson run made it a 21-point lead for Northern Michigan. It did feature a boatload of sacks on DC Tabscott, as he was sacked a total of 8 times in the ball game. Northern Michigan wins 28-7 and takes their first bowl win home. Baza Beatson had 3 touchdowns and TNJ had 5 sacks. Notable games for the rest of bowl season include Air Force taking down a ranked Northern Illinois team 42-41, FIU taking down the MAC runners-up in Toledo by 17, Ohio wins the Gasparilla Bowl over UCF 34-21, Wisconsin won the Quick Lane Bowl over ranked MAC champion Akron 41-27, Bowling Green wins the Independence Bowl over UTSA by 4, and it made the MAC 3-3 in bowl appearances this season. The Peach Bowl was Vandy over Florida State 30-21. The Rose Bowl, Arkansas beat Notre Dame 28-17. Gator Bowl was Kentucky taking out Syracuse by 10. Fiesta Bowl saw Florida beat up UNLV 42-23. UNC takes down USC 28-17 in the Orange Bowl. And the defending champs, Michigan, takes down Texas in the Sugar Bowl 30-24. Washington slammed the Miami Hurricanes in the national championship this year 44-16. First team all-conference saw right end DTNJ and middle linebacker Kaz Cray on the list, and strong safety Steve Estes made the freshman All-NCAA team. Wide receiver Calvin Mentor repeated as first-team All-NCAA and All-MAC Returner of the Year and the Jet Rogers Return Man of the Year award. And before we roll into the offseason, we find out that Alejandro Klink, our quarterback, has broken the school career passing touchdown record. He also broke a school career passing yards record. Akron hires John Donovan after Marcus Arroyo leaves for Penn State. Ball State fired Mike Tressel, who scurried to Iowa to be their defensive coordinator, and they hired Will Korn as their new head coach. CMU fired Jim McElwain, will now be Akron's OC, and they brought in Tim Plow. EMU fired Mike Leach, and he's now the offensive coordinator at Old Dominion, and he was replaced with Tim Ledger. And NMU had Dave Zimmerman leave to West Virginia, and they're going to replace him at a later date. Only 2 players are leaving the squad this season as we graduate tight end Clint Long and fullback Gordon Bergstrand. In recruiting, we had the 39th ranked class in the nation by signing 18 players, including 2 4-stars and 13 3-stars. Who were they? There are many to be excited about. Running back Jonathan Tucker is going to be an absolute demon when Baza Beatson graduates. Defensive tackle Travis Jones will likely be our DT2 this upcoming season. Joey Long is another quarterback athlete that's likely going to take a red shirt. I really wanted to get strong safety Rob Mason and outside linebacker Chris Washington, but they chose Wisco and Purdue, respectively. Rodney Nixon's going to be a really nice corner for us in the future, and most of everybody else is going to be buried on the depth chart for at least this season. I really wanted 88-speed outside linebacker Jamar Hayford, but he hated NMU so freaking much, he decided to never touch a football again for the rest of his life. If you'd like to be inserted into the series, leave a name in the comments section, and I'll see where we can fit you in, either on our squad or on a MAC rival, along with free safety Patrick Wilson and halfback Carl Gibson, who went to direct rivals CMU and EMU, respectively. Steve Estes takes a huge step forward after being one of our best defensive players last year, and this year's schedule has Michigan finally making a visit to NMU. We do go to the Shoe for a big battle with Ohio State, and we have number 16 Georgia Tech coming into Marquette before heading into the bulk of conference play this season. With the new year set up, it was time for the seniors to possibly potentially make a run at the MAC title. But first, we had to worry about a couple of in-state giants. Speaking of scum, the Wildcats hired their former Heisman star, Charles Woodson, as defensive coordinator to add a little fuel to this rivalry's fire. Number 3 Michigan was first up, and quarterback J.J. McCarthy was running amok with the option. However, TNJ was killing it with the pressure, and we forced a punt. A couple of big ballsy fourth down calls got NMU into field goal range for Christian Klump to take the 3-0 lead in the second quarter. After some more solid defense, Klink finds Calvin Mentor for a 20-yard tutty to take a 10-0 lead at the half. Were we ready to finally beat Michigan? TNJ continued his dominance in the pass rush, and Mentor had a really nice punt return, and we were in business. However, Baza Beatson had a nice run going, and he put the ball on the ground. It's scooped up by the Michigan defense and taken all the way back to the house for a scoop and score. Thankfully, it was reviewed upstairs and overturned, which led to Christian Klump extending the Wildcat lead to 13 points. Klink then scrambled for a 16-yard gain and a first down later on. Brewski catches a curl route and takes it for a gain of 27 yards, setting up this short yard Baza Beatson touchdown. Another field goal made the final score 23-0 as NMU takes down number 3 scum to go 1-0 on the season and shock the world. TNJ with 3 sacks in the ball game. Next up is the Michigan State Spartans, and they would hold a 3-point lead until Christoph Hornsby runs a perfect route and grabs this 24-yard touchdown pass from Klink to take the lead. Later in the second, this fumble recovery by middle linebacker Brandon Lewis of the Spartans leads to another Michigan State field goal, and it's 7-6. In the third quarter, NMU extends the lead on the screen pass to Baza Beatson, who takes it 56 yards to the house. 14-6 NMU. On the next drive, quarterback Eric Green was connecting with true freshman wide receiver Gary Sanchez, and it amounts to a touchdown pass, but the 2-point conversion is no good. In clutch fashion on a 4th and 1, Baza Beatson goes 36 yards into MSU territory. Calvin Mentor catches a pass inside the 5 on a Russell Wilson-esque play by Klink, and Beatson squirms into the end zone to put the Wildcats up 9 heading into the fourth quarter. After an acrobatic interception by Kaz Cray, Klink launches a 30-yard touchdown pass to Lee Bowen, and it's 28-12. Another field goal got tacked on eventually for a 31-12 final. The Wildcats win their second in a row against the Spartans to go 2-0 on this season. Alejandro Klink with 3 touchdown passes. Beatson with both a rushing and receiving score. Team was looking great, and next was an 0-2 Ohio State team that was barely holding on to their ranking at the shoe. A really nice pass from Klink to Christoph Hornsby puts us up early. With an early sack on quarterback Brad Phillips, TNJ had broken the school record for sacks in a career. We got the ball back and added a field goal, but Ohio State wasn't going to lay down, and they started moving downfield to get a touchdown and make it a 10-7 ball game. We came right back with a long pass from Klink to Brewski, and then another solid throw to a wide-open Christoph Hornsby. But Klink blew it trying to scramble inside the 10, and he coughs up the football, putting our defense back on the field. They were allowing OSU to make some plays, but the pass rush stepped up and made the stop to get us into the half with a lead. And MU then had a 13-10 lead late, but OSU went on a wild drive, including this ridiculous run after the catch to get him in position for this touchdown to take the lead with very little time left. Calvin Mentor had a sweet kickoff return to give us a chance to get to field goal range, but Lee Bowen said, "We don't need no stinking field goal," and he caught this beautiful throw from Klink to get the Wildcats a lead once again. They go for 2 to make it a full 7, and backup Igor Ingoff sneaks in. And the final play would no doubt be a Hail Mary, but Sav Rambo picks it off to seal the deal, and NMU escapes the shoe with a 21-14 win. Baza Beatson, 68 yards and a touchdown, and TNJ had 2 sacks. Next was our first MAC conference game of the season at Toledo, and we were ranked for the first time ever. On a 3rd and 6, running back Trenton Adkins puts his head down and goes 39 yards into the end zone to put the Rockets up early. But Klink and the offense were able to even the score with this perfectly thrown ball to Rigoberto Ramirez for the 22-yard TD. Later on, Lee Bowen breaks off his route on a broken play, and he gets open down the right sideline for a huge 59-yard play to set up a Klink scramble into the left corner of the end zone to get the Wildcats in the lead for the first time. To start off the second half, Lee Bowen is all alone like I was at lunch in high school. And he catches the bomb from Klink going 74 yards to the house. The Rockets got into position to try a really long field goal on the next drive, but it's way short. And Calvin Mentor starts returning it the other way and seeing he has a lot of green in front of him. Taking it across the 50, 40, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Wildcats, and they lead 28-10. Toledo got 8 points off of this Adkins run, and that was answered by Baza Beatson's touchdown run. Paul Rivero ended up making an incredible acrobatic pick, leading to Klink launching a ball he had absolutely no reason to do so, and it was intercepted by cornerback Cortez Jacquez, who falls over into the end zone for a safety for a final score, NMU 37, Toledo 18. Lee Bowen had 152 yards and a score. Then it was time for a top 15 matchup against Georgia Tech, and we were up to number 14 in the nation. We had a bunch of hot prospects visiting. We started out by impressing them with a flurry of nice throws down the field, capped off by a 4-yard touchdown to Jace Fye. Yellow Jackets weren't impressive on offense, but senior redshirt strong safety Caleb Edwards sparked their team with this amazing pick and returned for 6 to knot the ball game up. But on the next possession, Klink and Fye connect to beat Edwards over the top for 38 yards, leading to an NMU field goal. On a 3rd and 6 before the half, Klink gets cut off and intercepted by the redshirt freshman corner Leo Williams and taken for the second pick 6 of the day to give Georgia Tech their first lead. On the next possession, with the first half coming to a close, Williams gets the better of Klink again, setting up a field goal, extending the Yellow Jacket lead to exactly 7. Quarterback Paris Garrett is strip sacked by Miles Burrow, and Christian Klump ends up missing the field goal. But after an important sack to get the ball back, NMU goes on a careful scoring drive to tie the game early in the 4th quarter. Late in the game, while trying to run some of the clock down, Baza Beatson breaks free for 44 yards and a scamper. There was time for Georgia Tech, but Paris Garrett is sacked. Curtis Sears can't get to the marker on a 4th down, sealing a 24-17 win at home for the Northern Michigan Wildcats. Baza had 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. The recruits were impressed, and we had 3 commitments stemming from the Wild win. Now it was time for yet another ranked showdown, this time against our nemesis, the number 18 Northern Illinois Huskies, as we were up to number 11. To start off with a bang, Calvin Mentor blows away the NIU defense for an 82-yard touchdown connection with Alejandro Klink. But after a beautiful run after the catch by tight end George Grums, the Huskies had a field goal to answer. Then, Klink thought he had Mentor open, but free safety Brian Richards said, "Not today!"
Not today.
And NIU had the ball back. Ontario Brown was back to destroying our run defense, as he always has in this series, and fullback Will Walker capped off the drive with a short score. We needed a spark down 3 points, but pressure got to Klink and he was picked yet again. Some way, Miles Burrow catches a ball that bounces off his knee for an interception of his own to prevent more Husky points. A huge 40-yard reception to Mentor got us a tying field goal, and on the last play of the half, Klink throws a fuck it ball downfield on 4th and 16 into the hands of Bruce Ski for 49 yards and a touchdown. We went into the tunnel up 7 somehow. After our defense tortured NIU quarterback Ethan Hampton, Klink hit Lee Bowen a couple of times, leading to Baza Beatson's 8-yard touchdown for a 2-score lead. Late in the game, Hampton hit true freshman Joe Parham for a touchdown, but the onside kick went right to Christoph Hornsby, so we win, right? Nope. Klink throws his second pick to Bird in the same game, and he scampers all the way to House to knot the game at 24. An unlikely hero in Brent Gilliam emerged, catching a couple of huge passes, getting the Wildcats close enough for Christian Klump to hit this game-winning field goal, and Northern Michigan barely escapes with a win. Their first ever win against the Huskies. Calvin Mentor with 133 receiving yards. After the game, NMU gets slotted as the number 8 team in the rankings midway through the season. Do they have what it takes to run the table? Thank you, channel members, and a special shout out to TClank24 for being a franchise quarterback. If you'd like to join, click the join button below the video to see your options. Come hang out with us on Twitch, and I may even start some YouTube streams soon. Take care.
I feel you back somehow.